Hey everybody! Welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. It's that time again for our weekly painting progress. And it's just me flying solo this week, but hopefully we'll have some stuff from Mr. Sparkletrout soon. I know he's been busy. We've had some things taking up time in our family, so hopefully all is going to go according to Keikaku after this. Let's take a look at this guy. Even though he's a bit shiny, this is a random Goblin Assassin that is covered in way too much Agrex Earthshade upon closer inspection because he's really, really tiny and he's really in my fingertips there. But he is a single piece from Rocket Pig Games. I had to think about that. Like RPG, what did it stand for? Yeah, Rocket Pig Games. I did quite a few of their green skins. I really liked that Tusklands expansion they did, or not expansion, the Kickstarter campaign. Honestly, probably my favorite one. They've done quite a few subsequent interesting ones. Of note is their latest, where they're doing a fan vote $1 a month for crazy twisted monstrosities. If you're curious about that, I'll put a link, as always, to their stuff down below. But he's been banging around on the table for a while. I figured, you know what, it's time to get him finished. In addition to him, because I don't know why we're doing so many goblins, tried to finish up this Goblin Assassin character from Artisan Guild. There's just a lot going on his base, on the model, on everything. It's like, drop it again. He's got like these, he's got skulls everywhere. He's got these little totem things hanging around. I didn't know how to paint them. I didn't know what to do with them. And the mushrooms on the base. And the crow hanging out there. More totems. I didn't do a good job on his backpack thing here. I really am going to have to touch that up. I mean, I'm looking at it, super closely, obviously, where I can see little imperfections that I may not have even noticed upon painting him the first time around. And I feel like I didn't do the greatest job of printing him because you can't really see the individual teeth all that nicely with his mask that he's wearing. So maybe I need to go back with a brighter metallic and fix that up. But it's a neat design, and I feel like over the last couple of weeks I've had a lot of leaping goblins from various companies, or just leaping models in general. So I guess he was the one who started it off. So what better way to finish that all up than with this guy from Artisan Guild? I'm sure he's got a name. I am so irritated right now because I don't know what happened, but I had a bunch of resin leak all over the screen. And thank goodness I had a screen protector on my printer because it just, pulled it right off. Everything was pristine underneath it. But now I ordered, the day that it happened, a new screen protector and a new FEP sheet for the bottom of the vat, because I guess I ran out. And Amazon seems to have completely worked it beyond repair. I don't know where the shipment is. So I'm going to have to reorder stuff, and I've had to sit like a whole week of going through withdrawals and not being able to print something, which is really a shame because having started goofing around with some of the Dragon Trappers Lodge stuff from a couple weeks, months, ago, I am absolutely itching to pull the trigger on the stuff from May. Oh my god, I got to print it. And I was sitting there with my brother the other day, and we were both talking about we need to get this stuff on the tabletop. So please look forward to that. There is some crazy, crazy stuff and other things. But the crazy stuff. Anyway, this guy was from their Ocean Lords, and I think it came out okay. I'm not super pleased with my rough paint job on his belly there. I wanted to lighten it up. Most shark bellies tend to be a lot lighter than the top. But I think it gets the point across. And, from a tabletop standard, I feel like it's fine. It does the job. But he is the first of, hopefully, more to come. Speaking of the first of more to come, yet another Kyoshu Neko model. This time we've got a out-of-focus wandering monk. What were they? The Komuso, I believe? Now, I had a hard time figuring out some of the details on his chest area, and I don't know if that's just me, if I can't tell half the time if I left supports there or there's just something stray. I don't know. So I just keep going. Just keep painting. I did try to paint his face. Didn't do the best job. Didn't do the best job on his hands either. Yuck. We'll go back and fix that up. Or his plate. See, that's the thing. I'm like, it's so close and zoomed in. Now I can see all those tiny imperfections, at least from a distance. Not so bad. It's not noticeable. You can't see what's wrong with him, thankfully. But man, I've said it on I don't know how many occasions, but if you're into, like, samurai stuff, hands down, still, Kyoshineko are like the reigning champions of samurai-related 3D printing. And I mean, they've done other stuff too. They've been like chugging away at this whole weird war thing that they've been going on. I've got some of their Shiguntai, which were their like steampunk Japanese imperial army that vaguely look like guardsmen. I can't think of the French-looking guard. I don't remember. Anyway, this is just a small sample. I mean, they've just been churning this stuff out. I mean, there's like practically whole armies of this stuff. So if you're interested, you know, and you got a printer, there's some good stuff to be had there. All right. Speaking of good stuff to be had, a random Stonehaven Trikeen Ranger. Now, I didn't do the best job of moving him from the supports at all. To be honest, I think I did quite a poor job, but I tried painting him regardless, because I'm like that. And I know it's super zoomed in. At least from a distance, it's not as bad. I feel like I should do something with his mandibles, but I don't know what. You can see I just did a sloppy job on his back there. I'm not happy with it. That seems to be a recurring thing I tend to say on this channel far too often, is I'm not happy with how things turned out, but, you know, then again, I never am. This model came out okay, except for this fact right here, which I'm going to point out. She's supposed to have a ponytail. The end of her ponytail, I don't know what happened to it. It completely snapped off. This is God, Lady something or other from Forge World for Escher, for Necromunda. But, I mean, you totally could get away with using her for something else. It does not need to be a Necromunda model. To me, this is like, with that coat, with that hair, with those weapons, just the exotic look. I mean, yeah, she does have the feathers and the skulls. She doesn't have to be stuck wasting away in an Escher gang. She can be totally like an Inquisitor or something fun like that. Definitely a cool model. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to put something there. I keep thinking like a skull or something, or a blade. Blade might be a fitting choice for an Escher model. I love those stiletto blades. Speaking of blades, on her feet there. I didn't follow the Forge World paint job to the letter, but that's okay. Now, here is my favorite model that I painted up this week, and that was one of the Nyx Veterans from the Calamity's Ashes Kickstarter from, oh my god, Chaos stuff. I'm like, Chrome Metal Steelworks or Mechworks, something like that. I cannot remember right now. I apologize, but I will have a link. I know it's called Calamity's Ashes. These are some of the freebie models. And if you're a mecha nerd, like I have been for many years, decades at this point, I totally painted up in Scope Dog colors with the appropriate red shoulder on the opposite side, because that's the way Chirico did it, to prove that he was not one of, you know, those guys anymore. I love the stowage. I love all his baggage and gear all over him. I'm not sure what he's got carrying back there, but it totally reminded me of the old Marshy dogs from Votoms. It was a Scope Dog kit that was designed for well, marshes and swampland, and I want to say they had like pontoons and submersible equipment for fighting in the water. And that was like one of the very, very first mecha kits that I can really remember building. That must have been like 90 or 91. So it's been a few years. But yeah, I totally had to paint one of these up in Scope Dog colors. I've got a couple more that I've already printed, and while I wait for the Kickstarter to finish up, which is going to be just very hard for me to sit patient for, but then again, if I'm going to be in Japan over the next few weeks, that's, I guess, I'm not going to have much choice, and it's not like I have a working printer right now anyways. But hopefully we will definitely see more of this stuff. And I mean, when you have models like this, and very modular, very adaptable to all the other parts in the kits. You know, when that gets my creative energies flowing and pumped up. I mean, I was talking with my brother the other day, and both of us, that's like all we could think about was, what are we going to do with these kits? So to me, that is the best, highest accolade I can give, is if I can't shut up and I want to keep printing it and painting it and messing with these things, that's what we need more of. So if you have access to a printer, by all means, as always, check those links down below. And who knows, maybe we'll see some special limited edition ones popping up in these future days. And you know what I was thinking? If I was going to have a whole bunch of these dudes running around on my tabletop, they're going to have something to fight, right? And I don't know if I've ever really talked about these. And if I haven't, then I sincerely apologize, because I have got a ton of models, and this thing was one of the drone mechs from Piper Makes. And Piper has been making, what a pun, a crap ton of modular units. And I mean, while once upon a time they were probably, I mean, obviously they were honestly Tau proxies and stuff, they have evolved and become their own thing, to the point that they're just, month after month, I continue to be impressed by the kinds of stuff that Piper is making. She just continues to churn out crazy modular kits. This guy was like the most basic, boring one that I could think of. And you can see, like, he's got these weird synthetic muscles all over him. And you can build it with all those parts armored. The tails on these guys you can have armored. These fuel cells or stowage or whatever's going on, these thruster thingies on his back, those can be replaced with other arms. There's like a whole set of exotic strike team, kill team, weapon specialists, close quarter combat guys with drill hands, snipers, archers, never mind all the big giant mechs. I mean, just the drone army that you can build alone is crazy ridiculous. So this was my real quick attempt at coming up with a scheme. I had some that were done sort of similar in an actual Tau Sept color scheme, and it annoyed me, so I just tried to do a quick paint job. And I mean, I know it's very Pan-O in its style of color choices, but I think it works. Anyway, I apologize for not remembering the correct name, but a lot of these are like all fish-related names. And I know we had the gobies before. I can't remember, but just go through and take a look at her models, because they're, oh my god, there's just so many at this point. And she keeps going back and revising them too, and then making them better, and then making like new pre-supported, pre-posed sets of arms and like new undermount weapons. Oh my god, I'm rambling at this point, but that's how much. I mean, Calamity's Ashes has got, you know, like a good shot at taking on Piper when it comes to just bonkers amounts of modular parts to mess with. So, like I said, that's the biggest recommendation I can give to Kaor's stuff for Calamity's Ashes, because when you have, I mean, I guess I'm stammering. It's up there with like Adamant Arsenal stuff. You just can't stop printing it, because there's just so much fun junk to mess with and keep playing with and printing and painting and coming up with new ideas and schemes and, you know, patterns and options. So just, if you have that option, do take a look, because there's a lot of cool stuff to be had there. And as always, we'll have those links for you guys. And hopefully, I am trying to slow down over the next couple of weeks, because as I've said, we're going to be heading to Japan at the end of the month. And I would like to have a nice backlog of videos to keep everybody cozy and company, at least until I can figure out my internet situation and computer situation while we're over there. And once I get up and running over there, we can get things showing off. And I guess I'll finally put Discord on my phone. I have abstained for as long as I could, but I guess while we're over there, it's not so bad. I don't have to worry about it constantly going off at work. So yeah, as I said before, any of this stuff you guys are interested in, the links are down below. Please, by all means, take a look at this stuff. Give those small-time creators the attention they deserve, because they absolutely do deserve it. And with that said, then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.